Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
One reason to praise Cowboys' free agency approach. The Dallas Cowboys haven't been big players in NFL free agency this offseason, but still managed to sign a veteran who could quickly become a key player on Mike Zimmer's new-look defense. While Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have drawn frustration and ire from fans for letting bigger-name targets wind up elsewhere, as all three NFC East rivals added significant pieces, Dallas entering the offseason up against the salary cap tied the organization's hands. Still, the Cowboys' addition of linebacker Eric Kendricks could pay significant dividends on the field and in meeting rooms for a group learning a new system, scheme, and terminology. Pro Football Focus lists Kendricks as the one positive takeaway for the Cowboys so far this offseason. The Cowboys simply haven't had the salary cap space to make significant additions, Dalton Wasserman writes for PFF. Kendricks' addition is a good one, though, after he initially was expected to sign with San Francisco. Kendricks has long been a solid run defender and continued that trend this past season in Los Angeles. His 73.6 run defense grade led all Chargers linebackers and placed ahead of all Cowboys linebackers as well. Dallas had been running its defense with smaller, hybrid-type players at the position, but new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer can look to a familiar player in Kendricks to spearhead his linebacker group as he once did in Minnesota. Why Eric Kendricks chose to sign with the Cowboys. The Cowboys signed Kendricks to a one-year deal worth $3.5 million, essentially a prove-it deal for the 32-year-old, in a system and scheme that he is familiar with. Kendricks says that the opportunity to reunite with Zimmer, from their time together with the Minnesota Vikings, was a strong drawing card for the Cowboys. "I'm happy I'm able to be in Coach Zim's system again," Kendricks told reporters. "It felt right. Ultimately, playing the best football and winning a championship is our ultimate goal, and that's why I'm back with him." Whether the Cowboys have the pieces in place to compete for a championship remains to be seen, but Dallas clearly believes Kendricks, who arrives following an 117 tackle, 3.5 sack, and 1 forced fumble 2023 season, can give the linebacking core a boost in 2024. "I feel like me and Zim have had our times where we've even butted heads," Kendricks said. "Just the fact that I'm back with him shows you that I believe in him and he believes in me and we want to get the job done. Ultimately, playing the best football and winning a championship is our ultimate goal, and that's why I'm back with him." How much cap space do the Cowboys have? As NFL free agency shifts into its second wave, the Cowboys still might struggle to add to the roster, even at this stage. Currently having just $4.99 million in cap space, the Cowboys have the fourth lowest spending flexibility in the NFL. Much of the Cowboys' struggles against the cap stem from continued uncertainty surrounding quarterback Dak Prescott's financial future. Even after tweaking Prescott's deal, he still accounts for 21.2% of the Cowboys' cap. Cowboys projected to add 1.5 TDRB to replace Tony Pollard. The Dallas Cowboys have yet to add a prominent running back to replace Tony Pollard, but they still have the opportunity to do so. While some expected Dallas to pursue the likes of Derrick Henry, they may try to find their solution in the 2024 NFL Draft instead. In a new mock draft from Blogging the Boys' Chris Halling, he has the Cowboys drafting former Florida State RB Trey Benson with their third-round pick. Benson was a focal point during the Seminoles' undefeated regular season campaign in 2023. While the team did re-sign Rico Dowdle to a contract on Monday, it would still be beneficial for the Cowboys to look at adding a running back in the draft, Halling wrote on March 21. "In round 3, the selection we decided to make for the Cowboys is Florida State running back Trey Benson. At 6 feet 0 inches and 216 pounds, Benson has good size for the position. He also impressed at the NFL Combine with a 4.39 40-yard dash. Those athletic metrics are almost unbelievable, but Benson is a third-round prospect for a reason. His on-field vision is lacking, but his athleticism makes him a prospect with a ton of upside for the Cowboys or any interested team." Pros of cons of Trey Benson. After starting his college career at Oregon, Benson transferred to FSU after 2 seasons and just 6 rushes. Almost immediately, Benson became the Seminoles' primary scorer in the rushing game. While that may provoke comparisons to goal line backs, his 40-yard dash time and his average yards per carry proves he is more than that. Sports Reference shows that he averaged 6.1 yards per carry at Florida State. His 2 prominent years in Tallahassee, he was eerily consistent. He ran for 990 yards on 154 carries in 2022, and then 906 yards on 156 carries in 2023. After 9 touchdowns in his first season with FSU, he scored 15 total touchdowns in 2023. The only downside to Benson is his ability to read the game. NFL.com's Lance Zierlein broke down his strengths and weaknesses, citing his indecisiveness. Big back who might need to table his desires to be an elusive runner and adopt a more physical, decisive approach as a pro. He has creative athleticism but lacks creative vision, so he would be wise to keep more runs on track and finish with consistent authority rather than searching for greener grass, Zierlein wrote. Cowboys' former $62 million bust signing could land with Ravens. Former Dallas Cowboys starter could land with a Super Bowl contender. As reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter on Wednesday, March 20th, former Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup will visit the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday. Gallup previously visited the Carolina Panthers, but left without a deal. Why Cowboys released Michael Gallup? The 28-year-old receiver was released by the Cowboys on Friday, March 15th, before he was due $4 million guaranteed. The move saves the Cowboys $9.5 million. Prior to his release, Dallas had granted Gallup permission to seek a trade. Prior to his release, Gallup had spent his entire 6-year career with the Cowboys after being selected in the 3rd round of the 2018 NFL Draft. Gallup quickly emerged as a key contributor within the offense, starting 8 games during his rookie season. It didn't take long for him to become a focal part of the offense, posting 1,107 yards on 66 receptions with 6 touchdowns during his second season in 2019. He ranked second on the team in every major receiving category behind Amari Cooper. Gallup followed that up with another solid season in 2020, despite the arrival of CeeDee Lamb, posting 59 receptions for 843 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. His production eventually landed him a 5-year, $62.5 million contract extension during the 2022 offseason. The move came shortly after Gallup suffered a torn ACL at the end of the regular season and following the Cowboys' trade of Cooper to the Cleveland Browns. However, Gallup was a massive bust signing after landing his new contract. Expected to permanently take over the number 2 role, Gallup produced just 73 receptions for 842 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns over the past 2 seasons. For perspective on how sluggish Gallup's play had been since the ACL injury, he didn't produce a single 100-yard game and only had 1 multi-touchdown game over the past 2 seasons. His final 7 regular season games saw Gallup produce just 7 receptions for 74 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Perhaps a change of scenery can revive Gallup's career. The Ravens recently released Odell Beckham Jr. and could use Gallup to fill the number 2 role Beckham previously occupied. Through 6 seasons, Gallup holds career totals of 266 receptions for 3,744 receiving yards and 21 touchdowns. Although the Cowboys released Gallup last week, they have yet to sign a player to replace him. Dallas' top 2 receivers are Lamb and Brandon Cooks, with Jalen Tolbert currently slotted as the number 3 receiver.